Beautiful. To the early settlers of this territory, Arizona was the Wild West. Just living day to day was an epic struggle where only the strong could survive. Those hardy souls began building their vision of a beautiful city rising out of the desert. Today, Phoenix is a unique metropolitan area that epitomizes the blending of modern American livability and unspoiled desert surroundings. And just outside of Phoenix, a world-class motorsports facility has grown along with the city, Phoenix International.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Copper World Classic from Phoenix International Raceway, the bullet-fast one-mile paved oval with a dog-leg lap that challenges the world's finest drivers. I'm Steve Evans, and it is a beautiful afternoon for racing. In our show today, two completely different types of automobiles. They have about as much in common as watermelon and pomegranates. And to tell us about the second half of the show, join me with a big welcome for our friend from NASCAR coverage on TNN, Glenn Jarrett. Welcome to ASC, Glenn.
Well, thanks, Steve. It's great to be here. The second class of cars that we're going to see race today are the super modifieds. These are truly unlimited race cars, modified in the truest sense of the word. These cars run the quickest speeds that we'll see here today. The pole winner's car, which you're going to look at here, qualified at a speed of almost 155 miles an hour. That is fast on a one-mile racetrack. The odd things about these cars is the tremendous amount of offset, how much further the right side tires stick out than the left side tires. Also, the fact that the engine sits outside of the frame rail compartment of the car. When I first got here yesterday, I saw one of these cars with the engine sitting out here. I thought, my gosh, this guy's crashed. He's not going to be able to race. He's knocked the engine out here. That's the way it's made. The reason for that is these cars run about 70% left side weight, tremendous amount of offset, a lot of staggering the tires. That helps to turn the car in the corners. The driver of this car, Ken Nichols, said that one of the things he has to be most careful about is keeping the car straight going down the straightaway. This is going to be fun, a heck of a show, and I can't wait for it to get started. Right now, let's go back up to the front of the grid with Brock Yates to see our first class.
Well, Glenn, what you're looking at right now is a classic American race car. A little bit different, not quite as much offset, not quite as radical, not quite as much wing as we saw in those super modifieds, but believe me, cars filled with tradition, run the 100-mile championship dirt races in the old days, and now on the miles like Phoenix in the hands of experts like Brad Knopfsinger. Brand new Bobby's car, and Brad, you got to feel good about sitting on the pole here in a very, very strong field.
I feel great. Bob Consani put together a heck of a race car with his crew, and that gave me the opportunity to come out here and prove myself, and hopefully we'll be good at the end. Just got to save the tires and hopefully we'll stay out front.
Brad, this is a sprint race, essentially. I mean, you really got to run hard, but can you eat the tires up if you really start hanging it out real hard, or do you have to pace yourself a little bit?
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to pace myself. I got a lot of heavy hitters sitting around me, and I think we're going to have to be just conservative on the tires, but keep the car freed up enough to where I can still stand on the gas.
And now, for more on this race, let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Starting in third position is the defending champion of this race, young Jeff Gordon. Now, this guy is a name to be reckoned with. At the tender age of 19, he won this race. He won the Silver Crown Series Point Championship last year, and he also ran full-time on NASCAR's Busch Grand National Circuit, in which he was Rookie of the Year. What's left, Jeff?
Hopefully to win this race. You know, we just kind of go on to the next race and hope for the best. But right now we're running good, start up front. And we just hope for a good, clean race and hope that we end up in the winner's circle again.
Well, this is kind of back to the roots of your racing. These are the kind of cars that you grew up with, these and the midgets.
Oh, yeah, you know, I love the midgets. I love the sprint cars, the Silver Crown cars, and they've all been really good to me. USAC's been good to me, and Phoenix International Raceway has been good to me. So we got a lot of good things going for us, and like I said, we just want to end up in that winner's circle.
Well, this is going to be your only appearance in the Silver Crown Series this year, so you want to make the best of it.
Oh, definitely. You know, I really love the open wheel cars, and I just don't get to run them enough. But, you know, right now we want to win the Busch Grand National Championship. We got Baby Ruth, as you can see, I'm wearing all the apparel, and we just really want to make it a good run for them this year. And I think the only way we're going to be able to do that is to fully concentrate on the Busch Grand National Circuit and leave the open wheel stuff behind.
For a little more on this field, back to Brock Yates.
Well, Glenn, you're looking at the grill of a classic American race car. This number 56 dirt car being driven by Wally Pankratz is an automobile that 40 or 50 years ago you could potentially see running in the Indianapolis 500. They, over the years, were first displaced by the Roadsters and then finally by the rear-engine cars that now dominate the Speedway. But these cars continue to be competed in national championship races and mostly 100-mile dirt track races. And now they occasionally show up on asphalt tracks like Phoenix International Raceway in the hands of what we'll call great racing veterans like Wally Pankratz. I've been watching Wally race for years, and of course he runs super modifieds, he runs the midgets, he runs all kinds of stuff, and jumping in one of these big old horses got to be a lot of fun on a mile track like this, Wally.
Yeah, it is. These cars are like big old noble beasts, you know. They're kind of friendly, and they get going real fast, and it's really a classic American auto racing.
Good deal. Wally Pankratz.
With that bandana, Wally looks like a classic American outlaw from the Old West, ready to steal the Silver Crown. They're about to fire him up. Stay with us. We'll be back to Phoenix for the start.
The engines are fired. 30 Silver Crown single-seaters rolling down pit lane here at Phoenix International Raceway. All powered by either 355 cubic inch alcohol-burning Chevy V8s or smaller Chevy V6s with a weight advantage. But either way, difficult race cars to drive, Steve.
You know, it's interesting, Brock. You talked to Jeff Gordon, who we find inside the second row. When he was born, these cars were already old racing machines.
It's true. It's true. As I said when I was talking to Pankratz, these cars are really original versions of the cars that raced in Indianapolis up until about the middle 50s when the Roadsters replaced them. They especially built for Indianapolis and other paved ovals, and then of course the mid-engine, rear-engine cars took over. These cars kind of got eased aside for a while, kind of fell out of style, then came back after USAC recreated the Silver Crown series, and they run, as I said, both on the dirt miles and occasionally on the big asphalt ovals like Phoenix.
In fact, this is the only asphalt race they'll run this year, and it kicks off their season. We see a couple of Indianapolis drivers, Johnny Parsons Jr., Larry Dixon. A lot of these guys have been to the Speedway. Well, no matter their age or experience, they all agree on one thing, and that's the emphasis on safety. Earlier, I had a look.
Driving one of these Silver Crown cars is akin to bungee jumping and bullfighting when it comes to manly pursuits. But just because these drivers are brave, don't think they're foolhardy when it comes to their personal safety. This is the car driven by 20-year-old Jeff Gordon, who won here a year ago. Now, Jeff is one of the first to go to this netting, kind of like a window net on a stock car, which he also drives. His partner, Jimmy Sills, has them on both sides, Jeff just on the right side of the automobile. Now, the seat, unlike the old, very rigid racing seats, this one is built to give and heavily padded. He said he's hit the wall very hard and not even bruised a rib. Now, there's not just a shoulder harness, not just seat belts, but also this fifth crotch strap to keep the driver from sliding down into the seat. Now, in the newer Silver Crown cars, there's been some improvement in roll bar technology. These are called down tube chassis. See this tube going all the way to the front of the car? It gives the car a lot more rigidity, makes the roll bar a lot stronger, and just a little bit wider. And one other thing, if we can come in here. See this little lip right here? The wind on this high-speed mile track was so strong, it was actually trying to tear his helmet off. They added this to deflect it over. But as Jeff told me in our conversation just a few moments ago, the biggest safety factor in one of these cars is sitting right on your shoulders. It's called concentration all the time.
And an interesting mix of drivers in this field. Youngsters like Jeff Gordon and Eric Gordon, Robbie Stanley, Stevie Reeves, and some real veterans. Wally Pankratz, Johnny Parsons Jr., Chuck Gurney, Larry Dixon, who's a great sprint car driver in the 70s. Some of these guys have been around a long time, and all of them know their way around this racetrack, because we got a green.
And we've got our first leader. Number 10, Steve Butler from outside of the front row, followed by number 2, Brad Knopfsinger. Number 1, Jeff Gordon. 69, Mike Bliss.
He sits in the 4th spot, and Bliss is challenging now on the outside. He's challenging Gordon. And right behind him, down low in the black, number 11 is George Snyder, better known in the racing fraternity as Ziggy.
Yeah, a veteran out of Bakersfield, California, a longtime friend of A.J. Foyt, drove a lot of Foyt's race cars over the years at the Brickyard. A good tussle going on between 69 Mike Bliss and the white car of number 1 Jeff Gordon for that 3rd position. You notice early on, or even though they're darting around a bit, everybody's giving everybody else a little bit of room with these open wheel cars. They can be brutal when they touch rubber.
Sure can. Steve Butler continues to lead a good, solid sprint car driver, some Indianapolis experience out of Indiana. Kind of a columnist for some of the racing magazines. Does a good job. And here comes Mike Bliss down low, challenging Knopfsinger for second place in the red and black 69. That's Knopfsinger up high. But, ooh, a touch against the wall. That's the number 6 car of Eric Gordon. He just got up against the fence in turn number 2. Apparently has bent something or something broken on the race car. He's headed for the pits, but he fortunately did not hurt himself or the race car too badly.
The one race car that may be hurt, number 2, Brad Knopfsinger. He's in second place, but you can see there's something flapping on that race car. A piece of the body apparently loose or has been dislodged somehow, and that is going to bring out a caution for debris. They're concerned there may be some parts and pieces out there that can puncture a tire, so we're going to
circulate here under yellow as Eric Gordon, who started 11th, fine young race driver, unrelated to Jeff, but still very much in contention to run real well here. These kind of cars and sprinters as well. But apparently finished for the day here at Phoenix. We'll be back with more of the Silver Crown cars right after this. Okay, drag race to the line. Green flag out, and Steve Butler in the 10 retakes the lead that he's held from the first few feet of the race. But look at this. Mike Bliss in the 69, that black and red car on the outside, challenges Knopfsinger for second place as they head down into the dogleg. Knopfsinger holds him off, but Mike Bliss really aggressive. He's got third, taking away from Jeff Gordon. So Mike Bliss right now on a charge. Here they come to complete the lap. Butler, Knopfsinger, Bliss, and Gordon, top 4.
When Bliss made his move, Jeff Gordon swung out from his low line and got right behind Bliss and has now gotten around him. So it's Jeff Gordon in the number 3 spot.
Well, there's your leader, Steve Butler, coming down into turn number 3. Right behind him, Knopfsinger. Bliss made a charge and then fell back a little bit. So he's given up a place to Jeff Gordon, who briefly fell back to 4th place.
But now Jeff Gordon, that number 1 car, the series champion from 91, is challenging Brad Knopfsinger for the 2nd spot. On the inside is Gordon, and even though he's got the shorter way around, he scrubs up a lot of speed. Knopfsinger hangs on.
That's right. Knopfsinger now moves up to take a shot at Butler. Down low, off turn 4, can't make it work. Butler holds on, but these 4 cars are just running under a blanket right now, and right behind them is the 11 car of George Snyder. So a freight train running around this mile oval here at Phoenix.
Well, as Jeff Gordon told you earlier, Brock, he's only racing 1 Silver Crown event, and you're looking at it. He can't say if he has a poor showing here, oh, well, we'll get him next time. For him in this season, there is no next time.
Well, for a young man like Jeff Gordon, the future is seemingly lying to the south, where Winston Cup cars, really the technology in those cars are a lot more similar than jumping into a rear engine car at the Speedway. These are front engine cars, basically understeering automobiles, much like a stock car, even though they don't look alike. But it's easier to make the move from here up down there than it is to go to an Indianapolis car, where the technology and the chassis tuning is totally different.
All right, we're looking at the number 30 car, Chuck Gurney. He's battling Jimmy Sills for that 5th position. That's Gurney in the black car. Gurney's already had a great weekend here at Phoenix. He won the midget car division in earlier competition.
Chuck Gurney, terrific driver out of Livermore, California, running one of the old-fashioned, old-style cars. Notice the grill work and the beautiful curved, rounded bodywork, as opposed to some of the kind of flatter nose, more aerodynamic, but less pretty cars up ahead of them.
And they run that kind of car because they love the nostalgia look. They can afford a brand new piece, maybe a little updating of technology. They like that car. It's got history.
And there's another one, a couple of cars back, the red 30 of Wally Pankratz's, which is an identical car. So these are classic race cars. It's just beautiful. And these long tails, even the more modern ones, are still real pretty to look at. There is Knopfsinger being challenged by Jeff Gordon. Right in front of him is Butler, and right behind him is the 69 car of Mike Bliss.
And on the inside, the number 2, the orange car, Brad Knopfsinger, going for the lead. He has gotten around number 10, Steve Butler. Butler pulls in behind him.
And look at Bliss trying to get around on the high side of both Jeff Gordon and Butler, but he can't do it, falls in, but he may have 3rd place.
Yes, he does.
Bliss has gotten by Jeff Gordon for 3rd place, so we had a couple of position changes up front on that lap. as Brad Nussinger now begins to open out on Steve Butler. And look at, here comes Bliss down low. Took a shot, took a peek, but decided he wasn't going to try Butler down on the inside as they go down into turn number 1. But up high, Mike Bliss tries him on the high side coming off turn 2. Gets pinched a little bit, gives way, and falls in behind Butler as they head into turn 3.
Well, Mike Bliss has had his share of being second. That's what he was to Chuck Gurney in the midget race we talked about earlier on. Now he doesn't want that. He wants the lead.
Oh, look at this. He made that. They darted down low as they come down off turn number 4, but still can't make it work and falls in.